ham and cheese rolls that she puts in the oven that are just like melty cheese and butter and ham. If you could.
Stuff that doesn't fit in their cup real well. Well, maybe I should put one up there for all of them. Got a bowl full of dots. Well, at the risk of jinxing it, that sure seems like a agenda that would get us out of here in a reasonable amount of time.
Well, it would depend on how far they got with their special budget meeting.
That's a good point.
I was hoping to resolve all the differences.
That would be ideal. A lot of suckers in here. Brown ones I actually like for whatever reason. The Asians are up. Lauren's gonna laugh this one off when he sees these.
Hi, the live stream is on.
Oh, is it?
But it's on, yeah.
All right.
It worked perfectly this time.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh, we get no.
Wonderful. Sorry about that. I got my emotions confused.
Is it on at the moment?
Yes, it's on right
Being streamed as we stand here?
now. Yep. It does only, well, if you're sitting here, you're not on the camera. It's just getting the 5 council people, so. Hello.
But you can hear us.
Yes, you can hear us, yes. So, do you get Friday? Instead of Thursday, Friday? Yeah, like, well, like, I thought we were doing. Thursday, Friday, I get Friday, Monday.
I took Thursday because I wasn't back for a day.
Yeah.
So I have to find it. But yeah, so I was like, I don't know, like, is that work for everybody else?
warm, they all come. Mike can't eat it because he'll be coming just before, or something. So,
Yeah, it's hard right around the holidays.
I know,
Another one?
it's just these people.
Another
don't
wrap.
wanna do it.
What are we grappling today?
We're trying to get
Well, that's my favorite.
No, I understand.
Well,
Look at that.
no, that's not my favorite.
Sure, of course you'd rather have it out.
Right.
But you can't complain about that.
Okay.
Which,
We thought.
I mean, I think we'll have a forum.
Different.
So, I don't know if you're not yet.
Guns.
Yeah, everybody does guns.
Not anymore. You can't find them.
there's one more application.
You can't, nobody has them.
Put your name back in there and you'll win again. What's the phone number?
241-2382.
So if I leave, and I want to leave it all where my little refrigerator, can I take a water on
Oh, yes, you can just take one. Actually, there's none in, you know what?
that? Even a warm one?
I think you might be out now.
Like out is not on the shelf or
Let me,
nothing?
yeah, let me go check.
I like
Well,
that.
I can go lunch.
Yeah, if you want to look,
I can look.
we've been putting them under
I
the
don't need
counter.
to.
Yeah, under the counter.
I'll look.
They might be gone.
So you won't be there at three meetings?
I likely want 320-293-5464. When are we even drawing? November 12th. Is the one a warrant one on?
This is a new one. This is starting fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're.
Brandon. Right. 981.
All cash prices,
Got present $1 million and retired.
well, 2,500.
What's up? What are we doing?
Just missing a couple days. Or zero.
That's a zero.
Week off, so
No, what you do is you just put that to hard up to make it happen more.
Is that what it is? Then you win.
So is there
$150 million.
How do you get such a big cup? Big cheese.
Yeah.
First on with the drop. Does
Everybody back to zero.
anybody ever called you yet and said, hey, I want to pour about, can you help me
So this is the new
figure out what I
thing.
gotta do with all my money?
What, a real cup?
no,
Real cup?
never been an issue.
And the coaster you got
I mean, it would be really nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, right off the bat, it would be $1 million under one card.
Yeah, well, no, just, yeah, now we're getting healthy.
It might kind of-
Oh, I'm sure they have all the
Oh, right.
Folks, willing to provide all kinds of advice and assistance
Oh,
So you don't have your cup.
for a phenomenal fee.
most of the questions.
Yeah. It's like the storm chasers.
I'll get on here a little bit.
Brandon.
It's a company out there.
I'm not gonna ask twice.
It's up to you if you want to be direct about it.
That was precisely-
I want you to be held.
I would say that.
Yeah, that's good, that's fine.
Storm chasers supposed to be out there. This storm chasing. good things, right?
This year, you guys. Oh, nice. We were gonna come up there and then it's like, good job, though. The whole crowd under control. No riots. Oh, no, 911, no.
I didn't know I was
Sarah was the bouncer. Yeah, Sarah was something.
Catch it on your
Hey, Sarah's supposed to be raffles for us.
I caught it on my gas bill and tossed it out.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, how was that during
For a
the
change, sounds good.
one time, it wasn't.
First time. First time for you. 15 years.
What is happening? Meter?
Okay. And the whole. There's no money apart. Better go fishing. Oh, I try it. Sometimes. Once, twice a year.
She might be watching online, because she asked to make sure it was gonna be going.
Sometimes. No. Well, you did. My wife asked me to find some.
She had 2 events
Order, I
today.
couldn't.
So,
Asked her, I could find
I don't know what she's doing, but
So, some two chicks, whatever. She asked all my vendors and no one else who's got it. Well, she got them somewhere, so. Experience. Yeah. Sherry, that's stuff. So I tried a little bit, yeah, that's actually pretty good. I did not go that far. Wow. That's
Now, if you're going out and exploring shit, try and find some stuff that trace urban. And then if you're really high five, like the Eagle,
Oh, Latin's like Latin's.
I thought the team was better than that. I thought the 17 was tricky.
Latin's good, but we can't.
find
It's
that.
only limited time. All that stuff. I don't know what it is, but last month I heard trying to find something. So I don't know why, what it is, what's going on. How many people are drinking more than they have before? Everyone's all this stuff all the time. There's a number, create your own bush right now.
There was a gal who was passed away. Jake Lenore, Brian Sand's sister, who just passed away here a little bit ago. Emil's sister too. Can't think of her name. Anyway, just then. So Brian was telling me this today. His sister just bought this brand new laptop. Had a code and they just searched but they couldn't find it. All of a sudden there's a little something paper in the desk. 2021 suck. They put that in, that was the passcode. Got into it. Oh, God. Oh, my,
Oh, that's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Boy, that was she found it.
I didn't call it.
I can't remember his name.
Joyce Winter?
Joyce Winter. Yeah.
Says we're having trouble.
Yep.
They recess for the night.
Yep.
Oh, what you want to have out?
You're good.
Right now,
I don't want everybody looking at me.
I won't look at you.
Don't look at me, be like the dog. Everybody's looking at him. or something in the yard.
It's on. You're being recorded.
Recording is not so bad, we're not on the street, are we?
Make sure your green flag is on.
You can kick the red
You're looking
button
at
by
it.
your foot otherwise. You can kick the red button by your foot otherwise. It's lit up.
Is it playing music?
I didn't hear them.
It is playing music, well, it was.
There was music out there.
Should be.
Right.
That was.
You're thinking there's gonna be anything?
The only way you're gonna be outside is if your green light's on your speaker. If you push the middle button, you'll see green come on.
Yeah, don't start touching now. Maybe we should. Well. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any changes or additions?
One addition, another claim, 473, there was another sheet on here, I forgot to clear. Well, it was for Engelmeyer, survey.
Ready? We have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition. I'll make motion. Make motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
10 seconds. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public forum? Oh,
I have a sheet of paper here. A gentleman today just asked me to bring it up, and I'll give it to you when we're done. Like 2000, and I was really busy at work, so I couldn't talk him off the ledge too much. But he said, I just want to show you, Tim, the difference in taxes between Freeport and Sauk Center. I said, well, I wish I had a fill-in trailer and I did Minnesota metals and everything else, you know. But he had said a house value in Sauk Center of $252,600. The taxes the city of Freeport has is $1,959. In Sauk Center, it'd be $1,232. I said, I don't know if this is right. Well,
so I should probably be able to do
but also, I don't know if this was budget-wise, you know, at our budget and stuff like
Was Freeport higher or
that. Way higher.
lower? We're usually higher, we're gonna higher tax rate.
It's been,
Because I think it's not just
So, anyway. Give it to the
yeah.
he's not looking for a response or nothing. I just said I would bring it up. I said, we're not gonna do nothing about it because it's not on the agenda.
No, that's good. That's good for public forum. We don't have to discuss it. We just hear it and listen to it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anything else? Closing public forum. Consent agenda. Yeah.
The very first thing on the bill thing, it's claims number 4754, I think should be open to telephone.
You're right.
Well, in my
Yes.
NCIS investigating,
You're,
Yeah. Yep, no, I can.
they all start with A, so I
Yeah.
figured, hell, we're not far off.
Yeah, that should have been. The Sherping tree and stump removal, $5,000. What was that for? For all myself?
The salt shed that got the tree fall, the tree fall on it, Lauren?
Yeah,
Did we just, like, was I gone at a meeting, or that we approved that, or did we just
that went,
do it?
that basically went under that, the insurance claim we have, so we're fixing the shed. So the adjuster said the tree would go on there because we're liable for the tree.
So we're paying $5,000 to Sherping and we're
Insurance is,
reimbursing us?
And, yeah, and that is later on in the agenda. I have the report from the insurance company
Okay.
showing, what they're paying.
We hope,
Under old business.
it just seemed really high as a whole. I don't know what to say about it, but how big was this tree?
it was a big
Like a
tree.
sequoia?
They had a lot of equipment out there.
It's just, like, maybe a couple of days kind of project, or?
Oh, God, no. I'd say they were done in 3-4 hours.
And then that storm was, they just kind of told everyone. Ooh. Well, if you're thinking the same storm, there's a lot of portions of that Beaver Lake that were tens of thousands of dollars to take care of trees and stuff, and it was astronomical. But yeah, I thought that was.
Something like that, was would you not, you get bids to do something like that, or you not really?
We didn't even call
Oh,
it. Fritz had called it in before we even knew it happened.
Because it was Fritz's tree, right?
It was Fritz's tree, and then when the adjuster came out to look at it all, Fritz was there, and he asked Fritz if he had any damage to his property. He's like, no. So then the adjuster said, well, technically, the city would be liable for it because whatever is not on his property is now the city's problem. And he just said, at that time, they were covered.
That tree falls on Jake's shed, it's his problem.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
There's that phrase, which way the wind blows.
Yeah, as the wind blows.
Or as the wind blows.
I fixed my roof twice because of my neighbor's tree.
Really? Okay. I have a question. For Warren Beetle, this is work boots right there. Is that a standard procedure in city stuff that you pay for work boots?
There is a clothing line item,
There is?
in his area.
Okay. Just wondering. Is there like a max allotment on that? Because that one was marked too on a couple of these things here.
I believe it's like a couple $100 a year or something like that we allow, like for shirts or a jacket or, that kind of thing
Right.
too.
And I know we brought this up before, and I still, for the life of me, do not know why we cover DOT. Because, and this is not picking on anyone, but like, you quit tomorrow, like, you're gonna reimburse the city for that? So like, that's, like, I can't really think of that would be the only way that I would ever go along with reimbursement for that. I mean, unless it's a law, then
That's what I'm wondering, is if maybe you don't have a choice.
because if a health card is required by FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier, like, that's on everybody individually to have that. Like, you don't pay for your driver's health card, you don't pay for our driver's health card. you operate a vehicle more than 26,000 pounds, it's on you to do it. And I don't know. I've gone around with this before, and I've been shot down before, but I just don't see why we're doing that. So, but if we do continue to do it, I think I would like something written up that if you leave within, is that a 2-year health card, Lauren, or a 1-year?
Mine's 2 year.
Leave within the 2 years, that employee would have to reimburse the city for it. I just don't think that's right or fair unless there is a law or something in it, but I just don't see how it could be.
I don't know if there is.
I don't either, and I just,
Public and private, maybe a little difference there, maybe, I don't know.
right, maybe it is different, private versus public, I don't know, but I just, I don't know. I agree, yeah. So I don't know, if we,
That's not a bad thing. If you were to leave in 2 years, you would have to reimburse the city that.
and not a prorate, like this is a full reimbursement, like it would have to be, because it's, in my opinion, but what were the colors too?
I don't know what to do.
Couplers are, they're 6-inch couplers, so that's for my suction hose. It's for the big pump that goes behind the tractor. If I have to pump out a manhole from one manhole to another manhole, it's the hard suction hose part.
So did you pay for it or what?
Yeah, well, it's a long story. We were supposed to have it all set up to just charge the city. When I got there, it wasn't set up yet. So I'm like, well, I'm here,
Do it.
I'm getting them, I'm not coming back again.
Where'd you have to go to get it?
God, what was the name of the place? Something Anderson. It's like the street before you turn to go to Fleet Farm on 23. So if you're on 23 going in the back way to Fleet Farm,
28.
you're not 23.
American Crane,
Yeah.
Somewhere in the industrial park.
or, Anderson Crane Rubber Company.
Because normally, it's right before Granite Water Works. You know where Granite Water Works is? So I went there to get them, and they didn't have them, and they sent me there. So that just sends you more west on the turn before you get there. And that's what they sell.
Anything else?
Just the SH stuff is a little expensive, but.
Been better this month than it has been.
That's true. So it's a $30 toilet seat. Is that
It was ordered
Max.
online.
Oh, no, we did order that.
It was ordered, yeah, it was online.
That's for the men's bathroom here.
I don't know what you got those going.
No?
Okay, anything else on consent? Nothing else, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
A second.
Seconds, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Joe, clerk treasurer?
Okay. Get my page here. Holiday closures for, this Thursday and Friday, and then December 31st, and then for January 17th, is the holiday as well. Item number 2, I got a message from Mark Harn saying that he's selling made Minnesota code enforcement, so I just thought I'd kind of give you guys a heads up about that. A little bit of information about the new company that I found online. I haven't met them yet. Mark said he was going to stop by and introduce the new owners. Haven't gotten that done more of an FYI, I guess. And then the ads are up for the quick charger. We've gotten only just a couple so far. Well, I haven't checked Indeed. There's probably more there, but I've gotten a couple besides Indeed so far. Just collecting them and seeing what we have.
And we're gonna collect till,
We didn't put an end date on it, just so, what's that?
Do we say position filled?
Until position filled, yeah, that's what we decided.
oh, okay.
So we make sure that we leave it open until we find the right person, I guess.
Got it.
Is that the idea? Yeah.
Okay.
So will you kind of gather those maybe in the next week or so and just kind of deliver?
Whatever you want me to do, I mean, you tell me what you want.
Maybe how you did it with the,
Do you want me to do like a little spreadsheet of them to kind of make a list first and then send you the documents too, so you kind of keep them to the whole council?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
throw out everything, right?
Because we talked, I guess I'd like to have a sheet to read over and then have a meeting.
Yep.
I think would be good.
Okay, so next week you'd like me to send one?
Sure.
Yeah. Or where the
yeah,
council-
whenever you get a chance and you have like a decent pool.
Hopefully. Okay, I'll do that.
It's been posted for a week.
Yeah, not very long yet. So,
Wait another.
I don't
Or
know
maybe
what
weeks
holidays.
after, maybe you like talk during the week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because there's, I mean, you only have what, 2 more days this week and
Right.
a short week next week too.
Right.
First year, sounds good.
Okay, after the first.
As long as you're okay.
Oh, yeah.
Manning
So
everything.
far,
Okay.
thankful for holidays.
Question on the Minnesota code enforcement. So how does that actually work? Is that a position that is filled kind of like the waste management, or how does that work with that? Like going forward, do we have any other options besides
Yes.
this other company?
I'm actually working on some options for us. I took it beyond myself to create some options.
Because I didn't know that was even a thing until I was at.
Yeah, well, I read this, and Adrian, the people who do the building inspecting in Wake Park knew this was coming, because he approached them to buy my stuff. He doesn't have, this Minnesota code enforcement has no contract with the city of Freeport,
Okay.
to my knowledge.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Mark said that when he called, so.
He has no contract. And
Do most communities do have a contract then? I guess I just don't even know.
I don't think some do, yes. I don't think this does, because this is on with Dan Marthaler. You knew him.
Yep.
And super nice guy.
It was great, yeah.
He was a 5-star.
Yep.
And he just did the job and was pretty common sense, and it all looked good. Then this. So there is other options. FYI.
Yes, whatever you think. You do people every day.
Yeah.
Whatever you think, you know.
Well, I don't know these people from Adam. I don't like their name, Inspectron. They might be super nice people, but I hate their name. I don't
Strike once.
You don't want them showing up at the truck shed.
No,
No, no.
that's it, right?
Anyway,
Okay. Anything else going? Where's everything going? Swamp?
It's been a lot. A lot of things. I've had to work on prioritizing But I think so far all the big stuff's getting done. I've been able to get, payroll meetings, back, that sort of thing. The things that might be waiting are small little, they can wait usually. So far, doing okay. I think it's a slower time of year too, a little bit for like, building permits and different things like that. At least that's not happening right now. So that helps.
Keep us informed if that changes. Like we had talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Andy, is that a Christmas program? You said to mention.
He told me he didn't have anything really to report, so.
Okay. Lauren, Public Works?
As of right now, I really don't have anything. I don't think we're really discussing applications till later. Please.
Right.
So, I'd like to thank Brandon for helping me out plow snow up until now. That was nice. Other than that, I don't really have anything unless you guys got something.
I know that you brought it up a couple months ago. I know we had, at one point I talked about a new lawnmower for the city. I know that I think you talked to Jerry. Find another source that has an attachment for a broom. Is that you brought that up, didn't you?
Well, I just thought it might be easier to clean clean the sidewalks a little bit easier with something smaller and then bristles.
Right.
If the idea is that sometime we have to update our lawnmower tractor, I think it'd be beneficial to make sure that we're able to accept attachments that could do that.
And I think doing it now would be better than waiting until summer when we can't get it. Maybe there's a chance that we can get on a list if we do go down that road. You know what I mean?
So you're looking for a lawnmower, or you're looking for an
Like a lawnmower
attachment?
with attachments that's able to do the attachment.
And maybe I'm thinking of like a bigger Massey Ferguson tractor, where that you have the lawnmower, that mows down, and maybe that one does have the opportunity to put attachments on it, I don't know, but if that one's starting to get to the point where it's more out anyway, maybe we look at
Well, even,
Trade it in or sell it and update.
right.
if Jerry doesn't have it, call me or something, to find out, because we're gonna have one that like, Jesus, something like that.
Right. Well, I know the Sacred Heart Parish had a really nice one too. I don't know if there's a cab on it, but he had a blower for it and a sweeper. And I just watched him go up and down the sidewalks and everything around all those buildings. I thought it did a pretty nice job.
Yeah.
So if we need to update the lawnmower at some point, I would think it would be in our best interest to maybe include some attachment or two to make that.
Yeah. And that would be the better time.
I would rather see that now.
Right.
Well, to start planning
Yeah.
and who knows, it might be 6 8 months out anyway.
Just wait, we might not have a choice but to wait, but if we don't have to wait, like, so I know even Jim had mentioned that was it the tractor one that everybody hits their head on when they're sitting in it. He said that thing is getting pretty tired, so.
Is that the one we're all talking about yet?
Yep.
And that is a 4-wheel drive one, isn't it? Right, that is 4-wheel drive.
I think I drove by Geese and I saw nothing in their yard, so that's what kind of made me think like maybe we should.
Maybe look at different options, there's other stuff out there.
Yeah. So like Jim drives that. It's a John Deere, I think. I don't know if they have, it seems shorter, like smaller than the one we have.
Well, I think it's probably quite a few models smaller. I would think.
So it's like it's more movable. Like we have a blower for ours, you won't drive on the middle section. It doesn't fit, you know, with the trees in the middle and stuff, so you can't get around them. It'll work up front, but it's really long. So like if you're driving and all of a sudden you have a hole or something, you're gonna have a lot of snow around it, just by your maneuvering around it.
So like, that's why I like, just look at the options that are out there, because like, if that smaller one is more maneuverable, because like, I think this is, you know, like a quad steer, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. You could certainly with a tree, you know, everything turns with them.
Yeah.
But, so we actually have a blower for the bigger chassis already. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, the only thing I really ever use it for is like that alley behind Glen Myers. Just because it throws a lot of rocks back there, it's not gravel, but.
But, you know, that might, you know, maybe it's not the blower, then maybe it's the bristle broom. And then maybe that you'd be able to maneuver between the trees and, you know, so I don't know, I'm not out there doing it, but some options or some things that you think of would be
Yeah, when we keep,
something to
when
look into.
we keep putting money into this account for reasons like this, so.
But I just noticed Jim, I mean, he came down and did right in front of the, well, it was a weird time when it quit snowing today, but caught him when he was doing the banks, and then he came down and he did all the way to Ivans on those, you know, and he maneuvered around on that pretty good. Granted, it's probably 2 models smaller than the one you're operating, but maybe we take a look into that also, I don't know.
It does a nice job.
And are you, I guess this is just a question, so let's say we found a smaller one like that. For that, would you still want to get rid of that big one? Because that's gonna,
Maybe
I'm
that-
assuming like the one that he's using is smaller, is probably not using as big a deck on it. It's probably running a 50-inch deck or whatever, where the one we have is running a 72-inch deck.
Correct. And maybe we look at, you know, just hanging on to that one and replacing that one 2 years down the road, and we find something better to do the smaller stuff, and we can, we'll be able to move on, but, you know.
Get Jim's opinion on it. Find out what he has or what he's been using, and then at least he knows what it is.
Okay.
Well, he's driven both, of them, or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
what he would, or what he would maybe recommend, I guess.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
That's it.
David, engineer?
All right, kind of something out of the blue, we got contacted by MnDOT. I approached Joan regarding replacement or alterations to the bridge crossing 94. So something that we've been looking to have happen, and I think can be kind of excited about. So MnDOT is investigating construction in 2026 for that bridge. Now, what the scope of those improvements is, nobody knows yet. But after the first year, those conversations will start, and we'll see what we can get. So the county is well aware of our opinions, and that's how he actually got here, is Jody Tyke sent the MnDOT representative over to us based on, she didn't have comments, but she knew. So, he knew, and the new assistant county highway engineer, Mike Decker, also is well aware of our comments, and he said to me, boy, that thing is steep, we should see what we can do. So, we got some allies at the county, so I think that is something to watch for. The MnDOT's first instinct was, if we get rid of the sidewalk, then it'll be a lot nicer bridge.
But they would have to make a railing higher.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard no, based on our stance, you know, that's our only cross for pedestrians to cross, that's the only shot we got, so. And Jody definitely said, that's gonna be a hard no for the city, and I reiterate that point.
So do we even really have a say at all in it? If they, because it's not our bridge, right?
It's not our bridge, it's not the county bridge, it's the state's bridge. We do have a say to some extent.
Okay.
They're not gonna make a 4-lane wide bridge with sidewalks on both sides for us or anything crazy like that. But within reason, yeah, we have a say on it. They did say that total reconstruction of the bridge is not off the table. They would rather do just a decking project, but total reconstruction is an option. So that would be the biggest headache we've had in this town in a very long time. As an understatement, and Laura and I actually we're already talking fire response and that kind of stuff and things that go with that, but, so that's coming.
You said what, January?
Yeah, January's gonna get a hold of us 2026 project. Those are notorious for getting pushed back. So I'd be surprised to see it in 2026, but that's where they have a program right now. I did see it on the statewide transportation improvement program listing, the STIP, as for 2026. So they do have money programmed for it, but not enough to rebuild. So if we're looking for reconstruct, it's going to be pushed back. But either way, that's coming. You know,
How long
so
does it take to do a project like that?
it depends on what they're doing. To redeck it, probably 2 months. To rebuild it, 6, 8.
And is it completely
Yep. We're going to have a lot of detours.
It would divide the city.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I
It's
said,
a long ways to go to a city council meeting.
They
Maybe some carpoolers go here.
We're back to virtual meeting.
shortcut through the meeting.
I have to get like a gas station.
So like I said, I think it's probably premature to start worrying too much about that. It's 5 years on the road at least. But like I said, I think we have to take it as a positive because there's things that we want to have happen for pedestrians on that bridge that we need to make our point known that they need to be accommodated there. So that was the message I sent back to MnDOT as well. I told them all the concerns we've had in town. You know, I mean, I've seen it to the point where you have to back up because there's farm implement coming across the bridge. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but I've seen it happen, and you know, I'm not here all the time either, so I'm sure you guys have seen it too. That's obviously not ideal, so. So that's that one. Like I said, I don't think we need any council action, as long as you guys are fine with us just continuing that conversation. We'll run it through Joan and make sure things get known to you guys and relayed to you as decisions are coming, but like I said, I don't expect anything, honestly, to take place decision-wise for about a year for sure. I went to college with the MnDOT inspector or the MnDOT project manager, so that doesn't hurt. All right,
If you were nice or not, I don't know.
what's that?
If you were nice or not, yeah, I don't know.
He was a better kid than I was, and I was a good kid. So. Prior to Wyatt's leaving, he had gotten some comments back from MnDOT for a preliminary application for safe routes to school. They weren't a big fan of our project as it is, to say the least. And a lot of that had to do with MnDOT and the bridge. So these two coming up kind of at the same time are really kind of ties nicely together. Their recommendation was that we spend a year getting the school to sign over recommendations and a needs statement from the school district, from the school board over there. They want the city to put a plan on paper and approve it. Maybe get something with the county, with the public health of the county, to get us on more than one plan. These are the things that I was worried about for the federal application, why we didn't do the federal one. We got the state one might be a little less stringent based on this one. Their recommendation is not to proceed at this point. Now, had I found that out in early November, like I probably could have, we might have had an opportunity, but Joan only was able to find these after I asked her for them a little early on. So I didn't, it was a tough time for Ryan. I don't want to blame him on it. You know, it's slipped through the cracks. But so he submitted the application, so I didn't get the comments back until recently. But either way, I don't think it really changes our response. I don't think we have the time to do it before January 7th, and I don't think we can put the best application together. I think we're better off not proceeding. If you guys tell me to put it in, I'll get you as good of a BS application as I can, and I'll put it in there. But I would recommend we wait on it. Politically, it's difficult to go against a MnDOT recommendation and succeed in getting funds. The money's not for until 2026, no matter what. So I'd like to get something that actually lines up with MnDOT's bridge construction.
What difference would that make?
What difference would that make?
The safe route to school. What's the scope of what we're talking about? Are you talking just the bridge project? Or are you talking about like what we were talking about?
The sidewalks.
So why, how are the two connected? Because they're not connected.
They are connected. Because this program requires we connect to a school. I'm trying to connect the south side of the interstate to the school. That's the only way we're gonna make that happen, otherwise we're not eligible for it. And we can't use it to connect to a park. So that's the only angle we have, is to get people from Welly, and there's plenty of young families down there to justify that, but we gotta make it like you're walking to school. So that's how they tie together, is we gotta cross the interstate, and we got one shot at it. Now, there were plans, crazy pie in the sky plans from long ago that showed a pedestrian crossing by the community center.
I remember that.
I've seen the drawings, they are just sketches.
Would that be any cheaper for Midtown to do that?
No. No, there's nothing cheap about a $1 million pedestrian bridge, so. Nope, that's, I would steer you away from that. It was a fun idea at the time, but I don't think that's realistic. So,
Well, they're coming out with animal bridges.
Right?
that they are.
And they won't.
The animal bridge work.
So we get the DNR to pay.
Get the DNR to pay
So
for
we
it.
do it, and we'll direct it, use it for pedestrians.
There we go.
Now you're talking.
These are the angles we need to work. No, so like I said, as long as you guys are on board, I say let's wait, let's get in front of the school, get them to acknowledge the need. Get their board to approve it, give us a letter saying so, and get the support from everybody. And like I said, I think we need to, if we want to be serious about it, the next year we got to think about putting a plan on paper saying, these are our sidewalk priorities in town. It doesn't need to be a lot, but it needs to be something, and then start working with Stearns County Public Health to say these are our problems and get it on their plan. So, like I said, if we were approved for this funding, the funding won't come until 2026 anyway, no matter what. So, immediate need that we're talking about to save the problems that are on the south side now with people walking along County Road 11. If we want to pursue that at a faster rate, this funding isn't our answer anyway.
Okay, next.
Next, asking for money. Final pay application for 2023, I promised this one wouldn't be as big, and it is not. $55,088.47. This is for the paving on Second, and Third and Fourth Avenues as well. So, as well as get placed on topsoil and some temporary seating. This is the last payment until probably June of next year.
We have a motion for the $55,088.47.
I'll make the motion.
Jake motions, do we have a second? Sarah seconds. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Scott, attorney.
Just the one item, the sheriff has the abatement order you issued your last meeting. I'm waiting for his affidavit confirming that it's been served. And we'll, once we know it's been served, then we can start the next step. But I gotta get the confirmation that it is
30 days from the date that being served, or
being served.
then we go to court after that, after you're served, they don't end up after.
Assuming we don't, then we can file it, then we get on the court's calendar. So it's, moving at the court's pace now.
Okay. And not that this is, so like attorney's fees, are those also, can they be applied to?
Maybe, I need to confirm that, but that would be the goal, is to, including in the cost of abatement, in addition to whatever you might spend at the city ends up with, to add the attorney's fees to it.
Not that we don't appreciate it.
We'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Scott. All right.
updated changes, we talked about at the last meeting, and that was it. So, unless you have more questions or conversation, the action would be adopting the resolution.
I'll make that motion to adopt resolution 2021-17.
I'll second that. Tim motions, Nick seconds. Do we need to make that more clear at all, or are we good? Okay.
So are their pagers not working? This is just in the understanding of really nothing's gonna change, this is the same levy as we had last year, right?
Is it?
The general fund levy is the same. The bond, I think the bond levy went up just a little bit, but a few thousand, something like that.
So like we're still at technically a 0%?
Right, because our tax capacity did go up a little bit, so we had a little room to increase that a little bit.
Yep.
So I think it's basically flat.
But better than most of our neighboring communities. Okay, so Tim motions, Nick seconds. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. On to maintenance assistant.
So we now have a total of 4 applications, and you should have all a copy and one as a copy to look at of who the applicants were. Two of them came from Facebook, so they don't have the applications filled out, they just have like their version of resume.
What else?
Okay, what's our plan? Are we gonna, are these people gonna interview them, or are we gonna discuss, or like, how are we gonna proceed?
Well, I was gonna ask the same thing, are we just gonna let Lauren figure out who you,
No, can't do that.
so that's all my hands, you got their jobs, but.
I don't know. What's my ideas? I'll see what's this.
Well, I guess through the process of elimination, the guy from Alexandria,
Westbrook.
yeah, where that other one was, I don't even know where that town is. I don't know,
Good.
me, but I'm gonna throw that to out.
Right.
For me,
Just from a response standpoint, I don't
Yeah.
think it's
it's,
one of these applicants was the former public works guy. And growing up, not doing it. As long as he can still grab it, it's 2 days a week. I don't know. How do we handle this? Scott, you got any input? It's a part-time position.
Yeah. And you
We're in Appleton State, right?
having 2 meetings in January,
normally do it that way.
We've had in the past where
We do
Well,
that at the
that's-
beginning of January.
we kind of had, where when, particularly when there's been an election.
Election years, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, what's the urgency to get it built?
So,
That's all.
If you want to interview folks, then, you know, I think you'd have to schedule an interview, and that would maybe be a special meeting, it's the whole council. Or if you want to form a designated committee,
Yeah, could we do like a smaller committee of like Warren, Joan, and Warren to council?
you know, you could name a committee to sit down and meet with, you know, whoever you want to interview. It sounds like there's a couple that you probably wouldn't want to interview anyways. And then you
How
could-
about if somebody just makes a motion to hire somebody? Am I gonna get struck by lightning?
You can do that.
I make a motion to hire Mike Redinger.
I would second that. Based on his experience and former play with the city. And I remember him doing a really good job. So I have a question though. So Lauren, so what happens when like you leave? When Wojciech said that every day, if you go on vacation or out of town or whatever it is, who does them then? 'Cause they've happened every day, correct? Who does them then?
Whoever the part-time person is.
Okay. So like they don't need a licensing or anything that you have, they can just intern, you can just show them how to do it and they can know how to do it?
Yep.
Okay. So that was just a question I had. Nothing to do with this, but just.
I'm guessing that Mike probably has done that in the past.
Yeah,
Based off of this.
from 92 to 98, he was licensed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that helps them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want those last two. Okay, so we have a motion in a second to hire Mike Redinger. Discussion? No. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstained? Great. That actually you should have. Jake voted no. No. God, Jake. It said that a little bit quicker.
We still have to have Christmas.
We'll get your presents.
Alright. That's done. RFP for garbage collection. Joan?
I'm sure you all read every page that I sent you, right?
I started glancing at it, and I was like,
I did on the one.
Mike did.
I went pretty far into it, and then I had a brain something. What the hell?
It's a lot.
Garbage.
they're falling asleep, and like,
Right?
Want to make sure we can walk up and down the street and tell people we did this, right?
A question I have, are we gonna keep residential separate from commercial?
Also, separate trucks.
Well, so this has some lines here, okay? Very, on our thing, page 31, right on top. The city of Freeport is requesting proposals from qualified refuse haulers to provide services and collection and disposal process of residential garbage, recycling, whatever recycling, and yard waste.
Yep.
So with this being, by looking at this.
So, I mean, that's what, we can change this all around. You can change this to say residential and commercial.
Correct.
So, like, I did this part in the middle of the night.
This is just, we don't have this.
No.
No,
Oh, I
This
thought
is,
this
this is the draft that
oh,
I used from combining two different cities and what we need.
I didn't know that. I thought this was our contract
No,
with,
no, no, no.
with Danny's disposal, and we inherited it with West Central.
So this,
Or
this is
not
us,
West Central.
this is us putting into writing what we want.
Oh, wow.
So when you send out a request for proposals, you gotta tell them what you want, you
Yeah.
know, and then that's how you evaluate, you know.
I had a lot of time now.
Oh, okay. This would take me all of 2021.
Okay, so, let's get rid of organics recycling. I don't think we need that. My preference would be to have one company do the same. So it's one,
Yeah.
so talking to Jody at Avon, what she liked about their current contract is that it's a 3-year with 2 single-year continuing contracts, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
So at least we're not locked into a 5-year thing. If something were to get bought out or purchased again, then at least we have an out if we don't like something from wherever.
It's like a 3-year contract, but it's renewed every 12
Every-
months.
Every 12 months for 2 years. If that's what she said is working well in their community.
Yeah.
I like that. It gives us a little bit of flexibility that way. Since we do not have a compost, I do like the yard waste collection. Scott has mentioned it in Melrose before.
You know, I think if you get a big store, people are gonna need more than 2.
Correct. And we have the space in the industrial park to do something like that again. You know, push on the storm truck. But, one question I did come up with driving as I was watching Long Prairie work today. Now that all of our streets have been redone, is there, the only thing that I can remember is that when I lived in the cities, alleyways were mostly concrete. And I would have to believe that would be the reason for garbage trucks, if I remember right.
That's probably the way to do it, yeah.
Because I remember there being alley collection there, but we've gotten away from that now, correct? So the size of the truck honestly should not matter anymore at this point, should it? If we are rebuilding all of our crappy streets,
I would still encourage you to keep it as minimal as possible because these trucks are awful.
but then, yeah, no, I mean, I get it at that.
Yeah.
So somewhere in here too, there is something about the size of equipment appropriate to make that.
This, and I just want to show you this. This is a gentleman in Melrose, or in Albany, who says he has the same size as dumpster as the Hennon Lumber Company does. But this is waste management. This should be an argument with waste management. But he said those people, he's to its end. This is the garbage bill for 1 month at Hennon Lumber.
Okay. How do you want that work?
This is the garbage bill at the wood chip. Zero consistency.
Well,
But I was, we're doing city stuff during working hours too.
But that kind of goes back to what we had all those problems with commercial.
Yeah. With problems with the commercial thing, and if the city probably didn't get involved, they'd still be problems.
Right.
long as it's not residential. Right, so that's there a couple,
Yeah.
like there's a couple.
Sure.
That I, what I've gathered, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know, like, do we go through this page by page, or what's the best one? I don't know a better way to do it here.
Well, I Joan had found some more, and, you know, these are maybe like source materials, the other ones, but I went through it with Mike had, and, you know, he's pulling together the pertinent items. I think you could use this, I think the question, you know, and I see in the way this is set up, there is a proposal summary, and then the last one is commercial, you know, 1, 2, 3, and then
What page am
I'm looking at page 39, 38, and 39.
Okay.
You know, the first one is, you know, year 1 residential, year 2, and then there's another chart, year 2 and 3 residential, with 1 year continuing, and then commercial, with monthly flat rates required, must not be based on weight, and then, you know, quotes for the commercial, so, you know, it seems to say at the end that, yeah, you're looking to include commercial, we might have to do a little wordsmithing, you know, adding commercial in and taking organic out, but, you know, like I said, the biggest idea is if you're setting up and asking people for proposals, you have to tell them, you know, what you are looking for. You know, if you're gonna get a decent proposal, you know, something where you can compare apples to apples.
I made sure I put in there, monthly flat rates not based on weight, because I think I remember that being, like, well, as Carly ever.
Yeah.
So, and it's, people can budget for that.
There's no weight in this dumpster, it's paper, it's office stuff.
Well, this isn't, it's a shop one.
No, that's all ground and disposed of.
Really?
It's not even wood fiber. He says, Tim, as God is my witness, that's the wastebasket out of the lunchroom and the paper in the office. And I do not have a problem with that separation thing between, you have one company doing the town.
Then it's like, otherwise then we're gonna run into like, who said, Mondays. Tuesday is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's in their best interest.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Easier on the street.
hopefully we just have better communication, I guess, with whoever comes in here and does a better job.
I think that's the huge thing. How in Texas just is the thing.
So, do we start, sorry, but on like page 40, so is this just like what the city of St. Paul would have done? Basically the same.
For example. Sure.
Well, I think we have everything, it looks like we have kind of everything that we're expecting out of it. And hopes or dreams, I guess.
Some simple wording, like in the front, residential and commercial, by all means. But So Scott, you have had a chance to read
I've looked at it,
this,
I would not say comprehensively, but I had,
yeah,
it didn't doze off. I actually went through and then looked at the one like that a little more closely, and then looked at the two samples, not as close, but it's like, well,
yep,
it seems like we're not missing anything, other than, like, say, if we wanna include commercial, we wanna make sure we make that clear. Just talking with Dave, and you were mentioning sometimes when they, you guys, have a chart where you're asking them to plug in numbers over the years. For years 1, 2, 3. And some of these guys,
Yeah, so,
they wanna plug in a multiplier.
yeah, I had the joy of sitting through this, proposal dog and pony show, once every this month. And the firm that they selected, or the hauler they selected, wanted to use the consumer price index annually instead of, taking a shot at what rates are, with the belief that it probably will save the city money, because the consumer price index won't go up as much as them projecting their bottom line by guessing. So be prepared for that. I can tell you that the hauler that I'm guessing is going to be the leader in town here, is going to propose that to you. So be ready for it. Now, do you want to put something in there allowing it? I don't know, but be ready for it.
So instead of getting a hard number of each one, they would start with 2022 and
Plus,
plus.
whatever the consumer price index is, it's obviously a calculated sum that they're not coming up with. It's a very vetted number. It's a fair number. I do respect them for doing it, but it doesn't give us this is what it's going to be. But I think this is what it's going to be might end up costing $1 or $2 in the end, but there's no way to know.
no, the future like that.
And, Melrose went through this recently, ran into, this morning that, tied to a independent. And they were saying, well, we want to go with that, but then with a cap. You would say, okay, yeah, we'll use that number, up to, but no more than, 1 year, so that there would be a top. It couldn't go up, but that's something I think that came out, as they were reviewing the proposals.
Is it normal for it to like increase every year? Cause like ours hasn't.
Yeah, and it should.
Okay, so then I'm pretty sure since I've lived in town that it's been the same.
No, it hasn't changed, because you guys are locked.
Yeah, okay, cause yeah, then I was actually surprised that it would be like set like that.
I did see that you wrote no fuel surcharges in there. That's well done. I was going to bring that up.
Do we want, have Scott dot the i's across the t's thing here?
If we go that route, then we have to come back and reapprove it then. And then we're gonna be
Okay.
behind.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Because this is assuming just in a rough time frame. Like, we're still tight with,
And we're kind of trying to get this out by the end of the month, with asking them to turn it around.
because it will take any propose or time to put it.
Yeah, because the deadline says January 31st, and for them to return it back,
Cause when is our contract on April?
April.
Cause
April would be our last.
suppose if somebody changes.
Do we have to give any notice?
So I think, there is an
Yeah, right.
provision
Yes.
in
Like
the
the logistics of it, the hardware.
Oh, shit, yeah. When we submit them a request for proposal, I think they'll get the idea, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe in a separate, just telling them that, we see that it's, this contract's expiring and not going to be automatically renewing proposals to, if you're, certainly invited to submit a proposal like everybody else.
Just out of curiosity, like, do we know how many, residential or commercial? Was it like 39 commercial? I'm trying to remember all the waste management companies.
I don't recall.
Just kind of circling stuff.
And I think we can approve this without knowing that number. Maybe we just say, okay, we're saying approximately. I'm assuming that it's, you have the same rough number of garbage, residential garbage as you have for water.
Utilities,
And probably roughly the same in commercial. And so, assuming all the commercial properties are getting water in the cities. And most of the housing is maybe, might be a few blocks out there, but
Well, I guess short of incorporating residential with commercial,
Is there a need to have a 95-gallon cart for a commercial option as well? And would they be treated any different than residential? Because not all commercial probably needs
Right.
a dumpster.
Yep. So we should add that in. Which is good.
So would that just be another item on, another row on
On the bottom,
on page 39 there?
yep, that's what, and just a 95 gallon.
That's what I would guess, yeah.
And that would be,
I think that's what Rodney said he used. That's they have two. Perfect, yeah, so there's several options of commercial that want that size.
And then we're gonna add the waste collection, as our waste collection.
well, that would be included, but yeah, but that would be.
And add from what we have now.
Yes. Unless you don't want it, then we can strike it.
Well, I don't know, I'm just curious how people in the city are gonna react to that.
and I would probably assume that would be something you couldn't follow. I mean, if everybody does it, everybody does it.
Right, it's gotta be either,
Oh,
you're in or you're out.
yeah.
Which is what I think you said for all the rooms,
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the, everybody's got 3 bins.
right, and I don't know how much of a cost that's gonna, I'm just like thinking like, are people gonna say, I don't want that, but no, they have, you know, I don't know.
according to one town in the east of us, it's included in their monthly rates. So that's why I put the included part in there. Now granted, they won't, maybe they jack up the base rate for the other part of it. They allow Peter to pay Paul, whatever, but looking at that city to the east, what they're getting isn't very far off from what we're currently paying with waste management. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if it's $1 more a month, I think is where it came to. Yeah,
Yeah, see, for that, I wanted that.
right?
I think I wanted, yeah.
So in the introduction, we took out the organics recycling.
Yep.
And then on page 32, we have it listed there, underneath service summary.
Yep.
We want to strike that there again.
That's correct. Not there. I added commercial for the intro.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere else we were talking about weights, and I was gonna strike that out of there. I can't remember that. Yeah, I found it out in there at the end of 3. Rates reported in the city.
So you don't care about the weights, just that whole bullet point,
Which are at the end on page 33.
32, 33.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just going off of that, and I just struck the part where it said, and waste reported to the city. If they wanna keep them, they can keep them. If we request them, great. If not, I don't know.
Three point one, the last bullet point would be monthly flat rates are required, and then instead of residential, just say just monthly rates must not be waste.
Yep.
You ready for the street collection, composting, 3.5 on page 33? Don't put a date on there. For the curbside collection for all residents in the service area at no cost. Can you ordinance thing, what, do you wanna put like, at like the end of a certain month, or,
How does that matter?
I don't know. You can't just want to put a tree out in like March, if they want, can you, or would it matter? Just put it out there, they have to pick it up.
Well, they would probably inform you of a day of when that Christmas tree collection.
I think usually waste management, like now, would contact the city, between the city and waste management, when we come up with a day,
Okay.
and we would try and get it, advertised out there.
Okay.
That's normal.
Put it on the billboard or something.
Yeah, put up flyers around town, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to 6.6, is there any reason to keep that in there?
Yes,
Yes. What if one of the companies isn't in Starks County? Does that matter?
well, we're talking about if there's an issue, so like waste management, for example, that's, who knows where they're at? I mean, they're, they're not in the soil corporation. And so if there's a dispute with the city of Freeport on this contract, we're telling them that, the contract's going to be interpreted according to the laws of the state of Minnesota, not
Wherever.
Delaware or California or
Okay.
wherever. And if it gets to the point where there's actually, an action, the action's gonna be filed, handled in St. Cloud, not, Wilmington or San Francisco or something. And say, okay, if you wanted to, we're gonna defend this, we're gonna go halfway across the country.
Okay.
I think for most of the people bidding, it's maybe not an issue, but we don't know that, so I think that's important to,
Keep it.
you want to keep your own turf if you can.
I have a thing, on 3.1, it says weekly, preferably Monday, and then in 5.4, it says requesting service day Thursday.
Oh, sure. We're good.
If I had to prefer, because I think Thursdays are normal day now, right? Preferably Monday.
So 5.3 is your vehicles. Was there something that you wanted to change in there?
Nope, I just put whatever I could think of in there.
Yeah.
You can have whatever you.
No, I just wasn't sure if you were looking for that to cross out something.
So for like number 8, that was kind of like, we didn't get into a situation right now, like, the business is sold or whatever, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do this again or whatever. Okay. Sorry, I get it.
So in the event this all comes back, do we have to take the lowest price one?
No, it's written in here where selection of the most qualified hauler will be based on price proposals submitted as well as the hauler's qualifications and ability to perform, including but not limited to
you don't, I mean, this isn't like, the streets where, you had to go out, you had to sit and do a bid opening. This is you're hiring a service, you're trying to get the best deal, and so you don't have to take the lowest price. But I think, you're the ones that are gonna have to explain the residents why you didn't take the lowest price one. So if you're going with someone who wants a higher price, you wanna make sure you've got a good answer as to why the low price guy was not the most qualified. Every time they write their garbage bill out, they'll remember seeing stuff on the councils.
Yeah, I did. Please make her put this all together. Yeah, Google, yeah. Yeah, with all the
I
changes.
actually thought this was ours already. Sure.
The only other thing would be, and they're not even OPATs would only be the question, and maybe they aren't even interested. I just remember one of the gentlemen was sitting here one time and just wanted the opportunity. Maybe they can't perform any of this, but that would be only one other company that may,
Put it on there.
and if they decline it or not, that.
I know that they were interested in a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
But like, I think they're just being fair, so I don't know like where they're at with.
right, but I think we can, if they're willing, they might have the opportunity also to put in whatever they can do.
I don't know, are there any other ones locally that will not be? Because you can put it on the League of Minnesota Cities website, and it's gonna go statewide. And then anybody can put,
Okay, statewide. I did call the county and ask them, because a hauler has to be licensed with the county in order to dump or whatever. So I did get a list from them. Some of them were, like, they didn't give me the St. Cloud one, St. Cloud has their own private, certain ones, but, so the ones that fit ours, are the other ones that I put, in the letter. But I don't know about statewide.
well, and that's why, like, if we don't wanna go through the League's website, then we wouldn't have to, and that would probably keep it a lot cleaner. But then we should make sure that we have everybody that we think of.
You probably want to
Invite.
put it on your
Website.
website.
Well, it talks about that in here, I think, too.
But I think if you want to get a response, you better contact them directly.
Oh, yeah.
There was a truck actually, it was just south of Upsala today that I met. It said JDP or something like that. Never seen one of the trucks before. Something JD something, JDP or JDL, but it caught me off guard because I've never seen one.
There's gotta be a lot of companies, because there's 3 of them that run through like Rice, and they go all the way to Allen. That's where the garbage goes, because they incinerate it.
Did Long, and this probably has no bearing whatsoever, did Long Prairie sanitation buy town?
They thought I heard certain routes.
Okay.
And it was more, just that one was like by the school ones.
Okay.
I thought that's what I had heard. That's. Could be
No.
confidential, not true, I don't know.
Long Prairie sanitation.
Is that white and blue truck?
Yeah, because they've been sharing on.
Was that the truck you said?
I don't know.
Like 50 miles an hour. And it possibly got on.
Yeah. I'm I'm just,
I don't know, I heard that,
yeah,
like, I heard parts of it.
oh, not the deal.
I don't know if you're, even if they did, if they would want, when you think
Yeah.
Charlotte to contact them if they might want it, right? If you send them to Tom's, you know, the issue
Forward it on.
past them, right?
Good night.
Um, We're gonna include, Perry on there, see if they put them in. Do that too, if you all want, doesn't matter. Doesn't hurt to get as many.
Oh, this is
Does
the
it
same.
matter? Because what were you talking about, like the county? Sounds like a different county, does that matter?
Well, I don't know, I think Scott suggested too that I call the county just to find out who different haulers were.
Yeah.
So if we didn't know.
Oh.
So, we maybe could go further out, the insurance county.
Was it West Central?
Right, but they are licensed to dump in certain county.
Oh, yeah, I see that truck.
Yeah.
Because I can see them.
Well,
Oh, really? That's what I mean, that's what I mean. I just didn't know.
Yeah,
A motion for
Yeah,
the,
I think if you want to
approval with the changes,
approve with changes and
and go.
send it out.
Okay, a motion to accept the RFP document with the changes.
I'll make that motion.
Any motions?
Second.
Is there a second? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So who's making the changes and sending it out, is that me? Or is
I
that-
have some written down here if you wanna.
I made some notes too, but between me and you, would that work? Okay.
Okay. Salt shed. She shed.
Okay, page 78, yeah, so this is the statement from Lake Minnesota City's insurance showing total costs and then less the deductible and then the net claim that we would receive.
So what's the game plan with it? Are we gonna rebuild it what it was, or is it gonna get? What was back to the way it was? Okay. This was just a matter of information.
Because it's already all done.
No,
Oh, it's not done, okay.
Trees gone.
trees gone. Grass is growing on, not our land.
So this is something that'll be fixed.
He was talking last week, so within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. I don't know about like which one's spring, I don't know, okay.
So,
Cleaning services. I do think Joan probably deserves a raise. I don't know what you said. She has been working for the same thing, the same rate since 2015.
Should see, she works with Stan.
I don't have a cleaning service.
Anna Lumber pays the lady $50. She comes from Avon.
Yeah.
What does it detail?
About the same hours, roughly.
It's like 2 hours. It's the winter's a tad longer, the summer is definitely shorter,
Trouble with traffic.
you know, yeah.
I'll make a motion to pay, Ms. Tim $20 an hour
And how long does she work? She works
Usually it's about 2 hours a week.
2 hours a week.
Might as well go to a flat rate for the meeting. You could do that as well, no? Yeah. Do that too. Did she come and actually like have professional parties and stuff? $50 a
She,
day?
like, so after the Saturday,
Yeah.
she was here 3 hours,
Okay.
after that, but that's,
Okay.
like, that's just once a year, I can't think of
Any other parties in here at all?
any other, no, they're not usually,
So she cleans 2 bathrooms,
yes,
empties I'm saying this like what she would do.
yep, that
Cleans
is,
2 bathrooms, empties waste baskets, vacuums all the carpet,
yep, washes the floors,
and mop the floor.
Yep.
Ooh, that's what they do.
and wipes off surfaces, I don't know if you said that,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of surface.
yeah.
No.
Windows and doors, I think,
Well, I mean, I don't want to throw money around, but I'd like it. Clean it for X number of dollars. And you see it when she leaves and,
Yeah.
you know, that type of a thing.
Would you clean all of this for $50 a day?
I don't do my own.
Right.
I couldn't talk Jake into doing it. I'll make a motion to give her $50 a cleaning.
for me, okay.
I'll second that. Okay, motion, next item.
Well, it's,
Yeah. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried?
You said $50, right?
and cash. She says, oh, well, she would never get up to a W something form, which she would really know.
We actually, yes, she does, because it's finding over 600.
Yeah.
She already does.
Well,
Because then after, it would probably round down to the 50 then. Right?
This is still a pretty decent increase, right?
that's a really big one.
Yeah, because normally she'd get $36.
Yeah, not just getting $50 a ton.
Yeah.
That's up to,
It's a $14.
that's a,
All right. That was going on. Joan, expert billing contracts.
Yes,
In your opinion, keep doing it?
yeah, I think so. I think it's worth it.
I would have to agree. I think I remember us fighting it more before we had them.
Yeah.
But
It's nice to be able to refer people that have questions about insurance or different things to a third party, because then they're not dealing with the city, and, you know.
Right.
And those people, that's what they do, so they know how to explain it better. And, I think that's a positive.
Fire department's good with it?
Is this a yearly?
No, I wasn't even aware that it was coming up, so it's probably,
It must be every couple of years.
yeah, it's,
I feel like I haven't had to maybe
It's like, yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Well, pricing, or where are you looking at?
No, turn to page E2,
Okay,
4.1.
4.1, yeah.
Effective on the deck, extend through December 31st, 2026. But you can cancel on 60 days.
I think this is back in the Johnny Hill days, but that was, you weren't getting paid for very little. So if it's been
if we're good,
better,
if it's getting something, we're better than that.
right?
favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. And unauthorized shed.
Yeah, so I just became aware of this, I guess, last week.
Any idea when it was moved in?
Can
Tim
I
probably knows
relate
more
to
than you.
this, Carl Boats?
Yeah,
And he didn't, I'm just asking, come here like 2.5, 3 months ago and discuss this with the city?
I mean, he may have talked to Wyatt.
Right. Because he sat in my office complaining about rules, and we have dumb
Okay.
rules.
Okay.
I said, Carl, I don't make the rules.
Come on, Tim, yeah.
And I said, you need to go up there and visit with them about this. And, yeah, at least 2.5 months ago.
Okay.
And, I don't,
Okay.
see what Carl says. Maybe who knows what.
It's like a lawnmower shed.
But supposedly he's calling it a living quarters.
He was-
He's trying to get around the rules.
he was talking to Wyatt about it, I know he was, because at first it was, you have to take it off, I told him you have to move it, you
Yeah.
can't just put it there, you didn't get a license, even if you're not, I'm gonna live, it's a living quarters then, because you can't put a shed on a property without a living quarters. So then it was gonna be a living quarters, he's like, you still didn't get a permit for it. And then he,
Freeport did away with tiny housing and things.
Yeah, tiny houses and stuff.
so, I know there was a conversation and it just wasn't going anywhere real quick.
Okay, well, do you wanna reach out to Carl?
I will.
Or should we, is it easier to have an attorney send it to you?
How do we wanna do it? We could have an attorney do it. I don't know.
Your stuff is not right.
Or, well,
So this is awful, we are attorneying the hell out of stupid people. But I'm thinking that's right.
We're sending our attorney on you.
He was talking with Wyatt, is it worth somebody from the city having another conversation, or is he just kind of dug his heels in and
waiting for something to happen.
waiting for the city to push?
Is it, I mean, would we think he's may try to homestead this for cheaper taxes? I'm just babbling here.
My
And
guess
calling
is
that the home?
he just wants a shed on it, and we don't allow that, so he's gonna put a shed on it.
Yeah. You know, and he never got a permit to do it,
Yeah.
because he would have got a permit.
Yeah. But we don't know what conversation he had with,
No, we don't.
that's probably the starting point here, I think.
Well, I tried to give him hold of him, and he was going back, so, I don't know what happened.
Carl?
No, Wyatt,
Oh,
So,
I don't know.
so, we reach out to Carl, then we have to ask him what that conversation was. But, either which way, I mean, there's no permit on record that for moving a shed. So, no matter what was said in that conversation, move the shed, or something.
do you have Carl, you wouldn't even have Carl's.
I believe I have a phone number.
Oh,
I believe I do.
I have it otherwise.
Or yeah.
okay, there is some somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, might ring to a shed, he might not answer.
Well, I think we should send them.
Yeah, can we do it? Mr. Attorney, can we do it that way?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the thing is to just send him a letter, give him a deadline to get it off, or else,
Who's off?
and when the deadline comes and goes, then,
Because then, he'll get the letter, and then he'll make contact.
Yeah.
Can we get to,
Yeah, that's a good way, let's do it that way.
you get, this is a violation, so we just to correct the violation by, removing the shed and, completed by
Everybody, March 1st, so that way it's the opposite door, yeah. We stop down. Yeah. Right. Right. You have until March 1st there. Or June fair. 36 days.
Yeah, I think it's very generous.
Yeah, at least 60 days.
Yeah, that's a long time, I think.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so I'll send another letter.
Is that it? That's not. Motion to adjourn? Make a motion to adjourn. Sarah seconds. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thanks, Sarah.
You're giving me a weird look.
Waiting.
You go like this, and I'm like, what is that? Down the up left.
Yeah.
Not far from the family.
Scott, I think he's somewhere up.